YouTube live?
Yep, just finished.
Okay, now 3 Okay. We have to mute everybody?
Nope, already done.
Done?
Done.
Now I have to start metta.
Ready. Yep.
All right. So we have 5 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yeah. We don't want to start earlier.
Let's see what time it is. 56. It's up to you, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay, friends, good morning. Let us begin with our metta recital. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desires for sensual pleasures. One comes near again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought,
Yep.
we start our meditation. No matter how many times we repeat these metta words, it will never become stale. Metta should be remain fresh all the time. That is how we live with metta. Not only reciting during this time, but let it repeat in our mind again and again, all day long, all life long, so that we are really emerge from all difficulties and submerge in metta. With this metta thought, let us begin deeper practice. When we pay total mindful attention with this metta thought in mind, our breath we notice rising and falling, appearing and disappearing, sometimes long and sometimes short, and we pay total undivided attention to that pure, clean breath. As we pay attention to the breath without using words, concepts, ideas, or without going to the past or to the future, we notice the breath becoming calmer and calmer and calmer. The body becomes calmer and calmer. The mind becomes more and more relaxed. At this state, any thought of greed, desire, clinging, craving does not arise, because any such thought disturbs our peaceful feeling, peaceful experience. No agitation, excitement. As it fades away, we also notice the mind, body and breath more calm, more relaxed, more peaceful. At that state, our resentment, anger, rigidity fades away. And then the mind becomes even more calm and relaxed. Consequently, sometimes we feel sleepy and drowsy. Naturally, when everything is calm and relaxed, we feel sleepy. Sleepiness is very welcoming, peaceful experience, but it is not good for during the practice of meditation. We want to remain awake, alert and mindful. We cannot remain mindful when the mind and body are sleepy and drowsy and sluggish. And therefore we remain awake and notice this rising and falling of our breath feeling, perceptions, thought, and consciousness. Consciousness arises and passes away along with everything very quickly. And seeing this, we arouse our energy to stay in that state, arouse energy to overcome sleepiness, drowsiness, because what we experience when we are awake is much more valuable, meaningful than sleeping, and may we get so delightful. Sometimes then mind slips over to the other side, that is, we feel restless and have sometimes worry. Restlessness and worry is because of our thought goes to the past or to the future, bringing past memories, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, traumatic or otherwise, or going to the future, thinking, planning the future. And all this are not going to arouse our insight. So we stay in the present moment. This is what Buddha repeatedly mentioned. Parimukhaṃ satiṃ upaṭṭhapetva, arousing the mind to keep in the present moment. In the present moment we experience the breath, feelings, perceptions, thought and consciousness rising and falling, rising and falling. Then the mind becomes calm, relaxed again, and then with all this experience, we may still have doubt about our own success, question about our own achievement, question about the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. When we see the results that we have already gained by overcoming our greed, resentment, sleepiness and drowsiness, restlessness and worry, we have confidence that we can overcome this and already overcame some. And therefore we have trust and confidence within ourselves that we can do it, we can achieve it. So all a good, positive state of our mind arise, encouraging us to continue our practice, and doubt fades away. When doubt fades away, the mind becomes very delightful, happier than before, and that delightful, happy mental state is very good situation to gain concentration. When we gain concentration, we begin to see more subtle and deeper experience of impermanence, rising and falling, which is the reality. Always things are rising and falling. Our bodily functions, our breath, feeling, perceptions, thought and consciousness, they are always in a state of flux, rising and falling, rising and falling. Now with this concentrated state of mind, the rising and falling becomes even sharper and clearer. We began with noticing rising and falling. That itself becomes the subject of our concentration. And now we gain concentration by overcoming hindrances. So now the mind is more clear, pure, and calm and relaxed. Let us stay in that position so that we can experience deeper reality in our own life. So let us do that and stay with that. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, friends, we want to continue our Dhamma talk. We have spent some times in practicing, sharing Dhamma, and now we started last week with right understanding. I talked to some extent on that topic, and today I want to continue it. As I mentioned, right understanding is a very most important subject, and we have to have a clear idea of what right understanding is. Last week we mentioned the wholesome, unwholesome, and the root of unwholesome, wholesome and the root of unwholesome. What is right understanding of unwholesome? What is unwholesome? Unwholesome has always a danger, adinava, danger. Danger, adinava always is painful. And we have to understand, therefore, what unwholesome that provides or that produces pain and suffering. There are 3 bodily unwholesome things, 4 verbal unwholesome things, and 3 mental unwholesome things. 3 bodily unwholesome is killing, stealing, and committing sensual misconduct. Now, killing any being is unwholesome. It is unwholesome because every living being is born to live. Until they die naturally. They may die of accidents, or small beings will be swallowed by the big being, and so forth. This is a very natural process among animals. And we have no control over that. We have control over our commitment, our participation in depriving them of their lives. There has to be 5 conditions that one must fulfill to complete killing. 5 conditions are that there must be a being, living being, and we must know that that is a living being. That is second condition. Our awareness, our knowledge that this is a living being that wants to live. Then the thought of depriving that being of life, taking his life away. Fourth is using a certain method, a way to kill that living being. The fifth is using that method and killing that being. Number 1 is knowledge that it is a living being. Then second is a thought of killing. First one must be a living being, and then know that it is a living being. That's the second condition. Third is an intention to kill. And the fourth is a way to use, a method to kill. And last is using that method to kill. Now let us say there is a living being, and when we don't know that it is living being, and we don't have intention to kill, and by accident we may kill. For instance, you may clear a land and then find rocks and throw the rocks away, and these rocks may land on another little rabbit, mouse, groundhog, snake, and so forth, and then that living being dies. You have no intention. In that case, you are not guilty of killing. Even in sort of fight sometimes, somebody suddenly attacks you. You try to avoid the attack. In doing so, you also, in self-defense, use your hands and legs just to protect yourself. But accidentally, your fist or elbow or foot will kick or hit the other person accidentally, and the person might die. There again, you are not guilty of killing. You may be charged for culpable homicide not amounting to murder, because you did not have a premeditation. You did not plan to kill. So killing is a very specific thing. If somebody does kill, knowing, completing all these 5 conditions, suppose you use a way to kill a being and the being doesn't die, still your killing is not complete, because even though you had intention to kill, the being didn't die and your killing is not complete. If you completed all the method, all the intentions and knowledge and so forth, all are completed, then you have the full, dangerous, harmful, unwholesome force that you have committed. That means you committed complete killing. And that is unwholesome. Why unwholesome? Because you did something that you are not supposed to do. Instead of respecting life, you deprived the life, took the life away. That is one physical unwholesome action. Second physical unwholesome action is stealing. Stealing also has conditions. You know certain property doesn't belong to you, and there's a property and you know it doesn't belong to you, then you have intention to steal it, and then you use a way to steal it and steal. When all these 5 conditions complete, stealing is complete. Stealing doesn't happen automatically without intention. Unintentionally, inadvertently, you don't steal something. When you move away, you just the hand will just not carry somebody's something accidentally. If you accidentally take something by mistake, something, there are 2 items identical, and you took one thinking that it is yours. But when you take it away and look at it carefully, then you discover that it is not yours, even though it is identical. Then you must return it and get yours. So this kind of intention of stealing something is unwholesome. That belong to something belonging to somebody. We all know from all angles, legal, ethical, moral angles, taking something belonging to somebody else without that person's consent, without it being given to you, taking it away is unwholesome. Why unwholesome? You created pain and suffering in the mind of the person who owns that particular property. It may be very small and trivial, but yet we have no right to take away anything not given to us by the owner himself or herself. That is the second unwholesome physical act. Third unwholesome physical act is committing sensual misconduct. Sensual misconduct is sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Meaning you steal somebody's things that somebody enjoys by seeing it. For instance, somebody is watching a certain picture or movie or scenery in the computer. So you block it. And or if somebody is looking something at very keenly, you stand in front of that person, blocking that person's view. That is also kind of stealing. Sound also like that. Smell, you block that person's sound, sight, taste, and so forth. And other physical sensual misconduct is having sexual relationship with someone. A man were to have relationship with a woman who is protected by her parents, by mother, by father, protected by brother, protected by sister, protected by her husband, protected by even by the rules. Say, for instance, a woman wants to stay alone and she must feel that she is secure, protected, without being attacked by somebody. So she has that right. So, and depriving that her right and violate her right, her freedom, is totally immoral, unethical, illegal. Therefore, it is unwholesome because you cause pain and suffering to that person and that person's parents. If she is protected by the brother, pain to the brother, sister, and all other people who protects her. They also will be in pain and very unhappy. So all these are called unwholesome physical act. Uh, Killing, stealing, sensual misconduct. Unwholesome. Then there are 4 unwholesome verbal acts. They are lying. Lying is suppose you are brought to a certain situation, so maybe to bear witness to certain crime or certain things. And if you ask, in court, you had to take oath and you had to tell the court that I swear by such and such a thing, that I will tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Under this oath, if you say that what you have seen, if you say I did not see, that's a lie. And what you have not seen, if you say I have seen, that's a lie. If you know something and that you say I don't know, that's a lie. If you don't know something and say I know it, that's a lie. And so forth. And even there is no sort of a white lie. Some people have a very euphemistic term coined to tell lies, some lies, and they say it's okay to tell white lie. There is no, lie doesn't have black or white. It is a lie. It is not painted in red light, red lie. There is red light, of course, not red lie, or green lie, and so forth. There is no color to lie. It is a lie. Lie is a way to deceive people. When somebody has a habit of lying, nobody trusts that person. If somebody lie, nobody likes to associate with that person. Or even if he tells the truth, nobody will believe it. And therefore, lying is one unwholesome thing. Unwholesome for your name, reputation, to the family, society, and honesty, maintaining harmony, peace among people. Lying is very, very unwholesome. Then the word of talking of breaking people's friendship, relationship, it is called in Pali pe sunya. Pe means priya, friendly. Sunya means destroying. You destroy friendship between two people. You will hear somebody may say something about another person, say there are two people, A and B. Suppose you go to A may say something something in the form of criticism of B. A and B are friends, but due to some unfortunate situation, you see, slipping the tongue, B might have told something to A, and when you go there, A would tell you that my friend so and so, I thought he was my friend, but he said such and such thing to me, and you listen to it very carefully, and you also add a little more salt into it, little spice, and then extract all the information, and then go to B and tell B, you add more spices, more things to make it tastier, add little more, and then tell B what you have heard from A with more exaggeration. Then B will get upset. B would think that A was my friend and I just made a mistake. I apologize to him. This was just a slip of tongue. I never meant to say that to him. But he not only kept in mind, but he told this person. So their friendship will have a crack. You widen the crack and break their friendship. Therefore it is called pe sunya in Pali. Pe sunya. Sunya means empty. You make their friendship null and void. Then third is harsh words. Friends, when we hear harsh words, that very instant we feel like piercing our ears. We feel very, very uncomfortable, we cannot listen to it. It is so sort of filthy, unpleasant even to hear. Just harsh words. By using harsh words, we cannot gain anything. We rather lose something. We can achieve something without using harsh words, express our views, ideas without using harsh words, and we can accomplish a great deal. That is, therefore, is called unwholesome, because listeners will feel very uncomfortable, and later on you yourself feel very uncomfortable. You should have thought to yourself, I should have held my tongue instead of expressing what I said, and so forth. You regret, and the listeners also will feel uncomfortable. Therefore, harsh words is considered to be unwholesome. As I said, unwholesome is dangerous. It always creates pain and suffering. Now, the right understanding is to reduce suffering, not to increase suffering. If we do something that causes suffering, we are not doing anything to reduce our suffering. Then the last of false speech is sampapalapa, useless words, untimely, wrong place, wrong person, and just whatever comes to our mind, we just express it. A Pali word is a very good word. You may remember the Pali word. It is called sampapalapa. You just hear the English word bala 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 bala. Sampapalapa is that. It is just, blah blah blah. No meaning, nothing you can gain, and simply waste of time. Waste of time. That time you can use meaningfully if you hold your tongue and stop. By saying sampapalapa you don't gain anything, rather you will always lose something. Lose your honor, lose your dignity, and therefore it is not beneficial, therefore it is called unwholesome word. So the last of unwholesome is unwholesome thoughts. There are three unwholesome thoughts. These three unwholesome thoughts are even more dangerous than unwholesome action, word. Because first unwholesome thought is covetousness. Covetousness is you covet, you greedily, with jealousy, look at somebody's property. You think, I wish I have this. Looking at somebody's property, somebody's land, somebody's house, somebody's car, somebody's dress, or somebody's pair of shoes, or whatever. Whatever somebody has, you either have it or you don't have it, still you wish, I wish I have this. That is called covetousness. It is a kind of greed, but that greed is a more unusual type of greed. You don't get it, but you still wish to have it. That is unwholesome because it keeps creating more pain in your mind, suffering in your mind, not pleasure, not joy. Every time you think of it, you have unpleasant feeling in your mind. Therefore, it is called unwholesome. Second unwholesome thought is anger, hatred. It is very unwholesome. Friends, it is so unwholesome if we get angry. It is in the mind. But when you get angry again and again and again, it has been proven that you create so much negative hormone in your brain that would go through your bloodstreams all over your body, goes to the heart and lungs and everywhere, and eventually there you may create some cancerous cells, because this anger, hatred is so unpleasant. When we create wholesome thought, we create wholesome or good hormone, and that even can heal certain emotional sicknesses. But anger is very, very harmful, dangerous, and therefore it is called unwholesome thought. And the last is wrong view, micchaditti. In my opening talk on right understanding, I mentioned wrong view or misunderstanding, not understanding things correctly is extremely dangerous. Not understanding even the Dhamma is even more dangerous. That can create more trouble to you and others. I mentioned, I cited Alagadupam Sutta, snake simile, when I talk on unwholesome thought, wrong view, it can spread, it is contagious, it is, you can infect many, many millions of people if you have unwholesome thought or wrong understanding, misunderstanding, called miccha ditti, wrong view, wrong view. These 10 are called unwholesome, called unwholesome. What are the 10? Let me sum up so you will remember. Bodily, 3 bodily actions, 4 verbal actions, and 3 mental actions. These 10 are called unwholesome. Unwholesome. So we don't have to look around to find out what is unwholesome. They are all in your mind. Intention to kill and so forth, all in your mind. So this right understanding completely, perfectly important factor in the Buddha's teaching, right understanding number 1. So we keep this in mind, and I will continue the other part of right understanding. There are so many things to say about in right understanding. If you have middle length discourses book, Majjhima Nikaya, look at Sutta number 9, Sutta number 9 called Sammaditthi, Sammaditthi Sutta. It was delivered by Venerable Sariputta. It is the most comprehensive explanation of right understanding. So we will continue it in our following talks. So now, friends, I have to stop this, and we have started with metta and want to end with metta. May all those who are suffering in hospitals as patients taken care of by very compassionate doctors, nurses, and hospital staff, may they recover very soon and get back to their normal life, continue their life with understanding and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. And those doctors and nurses and their hospital staffs who are taking care of these patients, risking their own lives, dedicated, and out of compassion they do all these things, and may they continue their wonderful service without themselves being affected by this COVID-19, and live long in very good health, continue their Dhamma practice, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. And those people who have lost their loved ones may have been grieving, may they be free from grief and return to their regular life, continue their Dhamma practice, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. And those leaders who have taken very positive steps to encourage people to get vaccine, and now many millions of people have already got it, and many more are sick. May they all get this vaccine and recover from the COVID-19, and may they be well and happy from and live long in good health. And those who have supported to create this vaccine, those biologists, chemists, physicists who cooperate to create this, and they are doing very, very wonderful service, very timely service, and may they continue their wonderful service in good health and live long in very peaceful, healthy life. And overall, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful. And thank you very much for participating. And tomorrow I will answer your questions, and somebody will be here to read the questions for me, and then I try to answer them. Thank you. Bye.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank
Bhante.
you,
Sadhu,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay.
Om Saranay, Ram Saranay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante.